And good morning, everybody. We are live on Bead Maker and Coffee with Sydney Breakwin and her special guest, Josh Pierce. How are we, guys?
Good morning. I'm pretty good. It's early, but you know what? I wanted to mention this because there's either somebody breaking in or the cats are fighting. I wanted to mention this that today is such a great day because it's actually light outside. Do you guys notice that?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It means like the tide is changing. It means spring is coming. So when I went to get coffee this morning at dark 30, it started to get light on the way home. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is where life begins.
For you.
For me. Yeah. If you live in a state that winter's hard, you are like, yes, let's go. So yeah, so it's light outside. So I'm great.
I'm on a time zone adjustment where it's 3 hours earlier than it is.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still dark here. Well, it's starting to lighten up. So
yeah. It'll be light by the end of the show. We got a good crew in here already. So what have we been up to? Josh, what have you been up to?
Just working, trying to get things ready.
Working. Do you have so I'm sure everybody knows, but let's just recap just in case. So everybody knows that Josh is the number one moderator of Bead Maker Lounge, right? He is the king of the merch, the not really inventor, but really the pusher of Fat Joe, right? Fat Joe is a thing because of Josh, and then obviously just like PNS extraordinaire, right? So, but you recently, just within the last few months, made your training center an official PNS university. So now it is PNS University, Iowa, and you're going to be doing classes often, but then you'll still come out to Hayward every now and then we'll send you on the road every now and then, right? So,
Yep.
Just to let everybody know, watch for those. I think, we've kind of gone over the schedule. We know the requests for the summer, so we're all going to be quite busy, which will be fun. So when do you have training next? Do you have one this month?
We're supposed to have one the 21st and 22nd of March, but we got to get it on the website.
Okay.
That should happen today. It should be up today.
Be back today. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Nice. Well,
I think we got to get it a nickname. I'm thinking if the mothership is the mothership, that's got to be like the Hawkeye Center or something. I don't know.
The Hawkeye, I like that. The Hawkeye
so
Center.
So either that or we can't really call it the Fat Joe Center, but maybe we can call it the Raccoon Cave or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Raccoon Cave. I love that, actually. I liked Hawkeye Center, but the Raccoon
Josh
Cave
is officially Fat Joe's handler and promotions manager. So
yeah, literally.
It's a full-time
literally. Yep. All right. Well, Keith and I just came back from, Keith, much more of a whirlwind than me, but we both were in the thick of it last week. So let's see, the week started off, Keith headed to Hayward on Sunday last week to meet with the Car Supplies Warehouse guys to get the training center all set up for tint training. And so we had 2 days of tint training, 3 days of PPF. So it was a full week. All day, every day. And then I got in Monday night and, was kind of there as the PNS liaison, made sure they got everything they needed. And then, I had a bunch of other projects to work on too, but just kind of making sure somebody was there for them and, lunches, all that kind of stuff. And then Keith jetted down to SoCal for a couple days with Bob. And then I stayed at the training center, and then Keith jetted off to, where'd you go? Pennsylvania?
Went to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to Ottawa. Yeah. So actually, it's kind of nice that Frank's up here on this one. So there we go.
Yeah. So it was a crazy week, but good things, all good things. It was a lot of fun. It was fun for me to be there for a week. I probably got myself in a little bit of trouble. making stuff on my own. I posted a little teaser last night. So, I love to do arts and crafts. So, I took some stuff into my own hands and literally worked out in the warehouse for a day. That was pretty fun. I made coding kits. And then I did a special project. So that was a lot of fun.
Good time. Your special project was pretty cool. So
yeah.
My favorite part was when Dave walked in the office and said, "Hey, did you get a whole bunch of?"
Did what?
When Dave walked in Thursday and said, "Did you buy a whole bunch of stuff for?"
Oh yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
Dave, that's a project. It's okay.
Yeah. That was pretty funny. And let's see what else. It was crazy, but we are all brain fried from last week, but it was good. And then heading into this week, Keith and I are home for like 2 days, and then we head to Vegas for the Mint 400. So this will be something totally new, off-road show. We have no idea what to expect. None. I mean, I was like, what shoes do we take? We're like in the desert. And so stay tuned for our social media for that. I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. We'll probably try to go live. So really, we're kind of taking this opportunity to push forward the off-road brand. I know that we get a lot of questions on why don't we talk about it very much. I feel like I do, but I'm a huge fan of it. So it'll be fun this week to put forward the off-road line. So
yeah, I mean, so if you guys have any comments or if you are an off-roader, give us some advice. What should we look for? What should we do?
Yeah.
I think we can figure it out, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting week for us this week because it really is a project that the off-road we started 3+ years ago.
Yeah, 4.
And we have not
right
really
at 4
put
now. Yeah.
a lot of focused effort behind, and so one of our goals this year was to kind of put Babes Boat Care and the off-road lines forward. And so the Babes we are doing later in the month. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, we're going to get out this year and really kind of get outside of the PNS lane that we're usually in and do some cool stuff. So.
Yeah. So we're excited. So stay tuned. Hopefully we don't get lost or, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited about it. So let's jump into what's our favorite product of the week. Josh, you go first.
I'm going to go with Express.
Okay.
I kind of, you take it for granted and forget how good it is. And then it's like, wow, that's really good. I mean, really good.
Yep. That is so funny that you say that because my product of the week is Cockpit. So obviously here's the message here is that our interior cleaners are the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Like I love Express and I totally agree with you. Hands down, it's still like the GOAT. It's the product that really, I would say Express is the one that really like hooked me to PNS. I started using Bead Maker and I think I had Terminator. And it wasn't until Express that I tried it. I bought it off a truck because it was still in the Pro series at that time. And that's when I went, wait a minute, like this stuff is really cool. And I want to know more about this brand and this line. So definitely Express was kind of the one that hooked me. But I just love the smell so much of Cockpit. And I just love Cockpit. So that's mine. I just love it. I love it. So I want to talk about the off-road line because we're getting ready to go out there. But I've been using a lot of, and I want to give a second runner-up to Mudbuster, though, honestly, because like I said at the beginning, we're coming out of the winter and the cars, we got our snow the last 3 weeks of winter. Literally, we had no snow leading up to it. We got hammered the last 3 weeks of winter. We went from 20 degrees to 60 degrees in one day. Yeah. So now all these cars are, the undercarriages are really bad. They're really gross. And so Mudbuster, I just love to soak the whole undercarriage and the fender wells and then clean my wheels and tires and spray everything out. And I almost feel like I don't even have to scrub. So second runner up to Mudbuster. I really love Mudbuster.
Mine was Carpet Bomber, and not because of me, because it was the number one thing that people at the Autoality event at the Club Day said that they loved the most. So, of course, then I got to go, well, have you met Express Interior Cleaner? Have you met, there's Charlie. Look at him.
He was coming to make an
Archie monster.
Thanks, Archie.
So, yeah, I mean, Carpet Bomber just seemed to have been a hit back there. So, and I guess if you have a lot of salt in your carpet, maybe that's why you want to do that.
So, that's why everyone's talking about it, for sure.
Yeah. And that's been a topic of discussion at PNS as well, which is, do we do a salt remover or what's the best thing to do? So, so all there. So, lots of good mornings going on. Thank you, Frank and Dawn and 404 Not Found. I still love that logo.
I know, I do too. I love it.
And Gabriel's with us.
Gabriel. Nice.
Sarah's with us.
Very cool. Good morning, Sarah.
And I think Derek was our first one on. So good morning,
nice.
Derek.
Good morning. The cat is eating cookies and drinking coffee. I love this too. Rags and Brushes. What a great name.
Yeah, what a great name. And good morning, Amber.
So great.
And Bradley.
Good morning, Bradley. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. We forgot the most important thing.
Well,
it was Josh's birthday.
Tell us what he did last week. And
right.
He got a birthday is what he did last week.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a little older last week.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, happy birthday. I hope you had an amazing day.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it was pretty chill. I just hung out with the kids.
Cool. Very nice.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Jeff.
Western Colorado coming in hot. And then we got the Minnesota team coming in.
Oh, yes. It is a new month, too. I haven't even looked at the calendar. Oh, my gosh.
We had a lot go on over the weekend.
Yeah. When you spend a week away from your shop, time goes by real fast.
Yeah. Morning, Bob. Bob's like just down the road from me.
Oh, cool.
Oh, is it cool? Yeah.
Nice.
Cron's with us. I love that. Or is it Cron or Crone? Did we ever decide?
I'm not sure. Sydney, big fan of you from Mexicali, Mexico. Thank you. I'm a big fan of your name.
Yeah, we are.
Alex Stewart. Yeah. Man, did you guys know that we are literally 30 days away from TRCMA?
That's crazy.
Yes, and I got to see all the labels for the new products are in, which is amazing. So great. They're awesome.
Yeah, that's right. Those did arrive at the mothership on Thursday.
Yep.
That was cool.
All of them. Yep, all of them. I can't show you guys, but I have all of them.
We can't take any pictures of those, but
nope. So great.
I'm just flipping through here. Folks have already said hi. Good morning, Hydra Detailing. That looks like a Hydra. There you go.
Yeah. Very cool.
Not to be confused with Hydro.
Right. Good morning.
All right, guys. So this is the point in the show where you start asking questions.
Yes. Cron says, I just got Cockpit. We can't wait to try it out. I love it. So I'm going to give my little tip here of what I do with Cockpit versus Express. So, and Robin and I do it opposite. So what I do is because, normally you want to dilute Express 1-to-1. It just helps it, rinse better and all that kind of stuff. So we always recommend diluting it 1-to-1. If you have something that's super dirty, you can leave it full strength. But what I do, because I don't want to have multiple bottles of the same chemical that are different dilutions, because I hate reading labels. I just want to grab the bottle and go. And so what I do is I use Express at 1-to-1. And then for really dirty stuff that I need full strength, that's where I bring in Cockpit. So that's kind of how I differentiate. I know Robin does, which I thought this was genius because I love the smell of Cockpit. She does her 1-to-1 as Cockpit and her full strength as Express. So either way you go, it's great. And I was going to give another tip, but I see it coming up in the question, so I'm not going to answer the other part. But anyway, that's what I do with them. But love them both. I use them both every day.
Yeah.
Right. So, Hydra says the full off-road PNS line should come to TRC Europe.
Believe it or not, it is in the container to go. And not just the full off-road line of chemical, but the accessories as well. So you will be able to get the full meal deal. And Hydra, I'm going to make you even happier. This too is in the container.
Yes. And there's one other thing in the container that we actually got as a question on social media yesterday was, when is Europe getting all of the labeled empty quart bottles? They are in the container as well.
This is a very special container.
Yes.
So I think I have a meeting actually with the team tomorrow morning. We do a monthly meeting and tomorrow's the day. So I may have to suggest that Quentin does a grand opening video or an unboxing video of the container when it gets there. Maybe he can wear the Fat Joe suit.
Oh.
Yes, Sarah, Mudbuster is amazing.
Yeah.
Love it. Steve, good morning. How do the off-road chemicals tend to differ from on-road chemicals? I love that. Are there any unique challenges that need to be taken into account? No, no challenges by any means. They've all been formulated that they can absolutely be used on regular vehicles as well. There's just some differences in the chemical makeup that was to support off-road vehicles a little bit more, like rust inhibitors, UV inhibitors, different things like that. So they are a different makeup, but they can absolutely be used on regular cars as well, which is why I like to use Mudbuster on the undercarriage, because Mudbuster has a rust inhibitor in it.
Right. So the wide open soap really isn't as much a bucket soap as it is kind of a designated foam cannon type soap. Yeah. So it's designed to foam a little bit. It's got a rust inhibitor in it. The Mudbuster is just really focused at dirt, grime type products. And it also has a rust inhibitor in it. The cockpit cleaner, which is the interior, has a UV protectant in it, because a lot of those cockpits are open. So yeah, they're formulated, and the cockpit is just a little bit more aggressive toward, again, mud and grime and dust and that kind of thing. So products are really designed for kind of just a dirtier car than it is say like an EnviroClean, which is really designed as a degreaser more than an all-purpose cleaner. So where you get with Mudbuster is you get more grime busting, more dirt busting. So that's kind of the focus of the products, was to get the buggy clean, if you will.
Yeah. Yep. Mike Carlin, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
I bet he's looking forward to being done with winter. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Gosh. Frank says stout is amazing. Gosh, it really is.
Yeah.
I think I kind of like it without the G on it. Amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. There's things about products where like every time you use them, you go, man, this is good. Like that's stout for me. Every time I use it, I go, man, this is good. Yeah. All right, Derek, definitely the PNS carpet system rocks. Any recommendations for Alcantara? Thank you. So I have several. Josh, what are your recommendations for Alcantara?
I actually do kind of what you taught me a couple of years ago, is I take Express and water 50-50 and put it in a little pump sprayer. And
Yep.
Like that little LVP iron looking brush. And,
perfect. Yep, that's absolutely what I do.
Sprayer, you're talking like the foamer, like the foamer? Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, so you just turn it into a foam just so that it doesn't get the Alcantara too wet, and it allows it to kind of, I don't know, like I can't say the word. I don't even know how to say it. Esservate. What is that? Like, like the bubbles work on the Alcantara and it helps break up the dirt, and then you safely wipe it away without, really getting too much chemical on the surface. I have Alcantara in my Jeep and I clean it all the time, and it's great. Really, really great.
I had some folks tell me they use the Express wipes on it.
Yeah, I have too, for sure. I use the Express wipes all the time. The other thing I do, but I do think I like the Express better, but I do Rags to Riches also. That cleans really well, and I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's winter. I felt like though, when I did the Rags to Riches, I almost felt like it got dirtier faster a little bit. So I think I'll still go back to Express, but they both work. I mean, I have light colored in Alcantara, and like I said, it's winter. So, but Rags to Riches, because Alcantara is a microfiber product, that worked quite well for me as well. The only thing I think I would do different there is maybe mist it still with finisher.
Yeah, that's the tough part where you're trying to do a dry clean on a surface. You pretty much have to neutralize any remaining soap, otherwise it does resoil pretty good. Yeah.
Tyler Cucci, good morning.
Coming in hot from New England. Nice. I think that's where he is.
Don Buckman, which products are the ones to watch out for when working on coated vehicles? I just wanted to make sure not to remove or degrade the coatings that are already there. So first and foremost, the point of coatings is to be chemically impervious. So there shouldn't be a ton that will hurt them. There could be ones that could kind of kill the hydrophobic properties, but not necessarily degrade the coating. So that's important to know. One that I do know that when used a lot will kill the hydrophobic properties is for sure water spot remover. I had to use water spot remover a couple times on a Jeep, and it totally killed the hydrophobics. But there's not, I mean, they're meant to be chemically impervious. So there's not really a lot besides really strong acids. The acids are going to kill the hydrophobic layer. You know, as we know, the hydrophobics in most coatings only go to a depth of a certain depth in the coating. The good news is they're pretty easy to restore, with like a good wash, clay, seal process, and throw a defender on top, and then you get your hydrophobics back. But honestly, your coating's fine still.
Yeah, I mean, like any paint surface, the coating surface gets damaged by chemical, but it doesn't go away. It's just it just looks worse or performs at less than optimal. But
it's really the hydrophobics.
It's still giving you the protection. And that's the thing. You know, you can refresh those in some ways. But you want to avoid the harsh chemicals I think on either end of the spectrum. Acids show up more because they etch it a little bit more easily.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So Josh, what do you do with your reviving of a coating when it comes in on its yearly?
We'll generally do a crystal wash, and then lately it's been frostbite right after that, and then we'll do the wash, clay, seal.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Crystal wash is an acid, so I mean you can use an acid on there. It's a mild acid. It's not as aggressive, say, as a wheel acid or a water spot remover.
Right. Yep. Steve Pearson says, "Happy birthday, Josh."
Thank you, Steve.
Still the best logo in the business.
It is. I love it.
Good morning,
Anthony. Hello from me, Minnesota. Don Buckman, happy birthday, Josh.
Thank you, Don.
This must be from when we announced it. There's going to be a couple of happy birthdays. All right. Todd Hill says, good morning. There seems to be some different opinions on DA versus Rotary. Which order to use them? I'd love to hear each of your thoughts. Josh, I'm going to have you go first.
So I've kind of noticed, for whatever reason, Rotary is starting to be like the cool thing. I don't know that I would, unless you're like super, I don't know, if you're pretty good, use a Rotary. I wouldn't. I mean, use a DA because you're going to screw up way less stuff with a DA than you will a Rotary. I mean, if you're going to use both, use the Rotary first, obviously, so you can finish down with the DA, but I would use the Rotary on the shelf.
Yeah.
Unless you're really, really experienced with it.
Right. Yeah. I don't use Rotary either, just because I don't take on that level of paint corrections. And you're talking thousands of dollars worth of paint correction there. I mean, I think that, it's usually going to be pretty bad if you're going to pull out a Rotary. And like Josh said, you have to know what you're doing, or you could absolutely make your life a lot worse. And I think that's probably the biggest message here, is that everyone sees everybody using Rotary now on TikTok and Instagram, and they think, oh, that's so cool. It looks so cool. Holy moly. Like, make sure you know what you're doing before you pull one of those out, because most of the time it's just not going to be necessary. You could potentially make more work for yourself. You could very potentially burn through paint. So it's not a fancy thing. I think that where I see it a lot is probably in the body shop space. I think body shops use them a lot, right? Because they're getting out sanding marks, but generally speaking, you shouldn't need to use a Rotary. But yes, always you would be using a Rotary for your cutting step, not your finishing step.
Yeah.
But I just don't use one. I don't do that kind of paint correction in my shop. That's like, yeah.
We've actually even gone away from using a Rotary. We've gone away from using a Rotary in the body shop. I mean, we're using DAs and forced action in the body shop now. I mean,
right. And I think that's the important thing, is that, years ago, 10 years ago, you had to use a Rotary in a body shop setting. But now with the pads, the compounds, the polishes that are out there, you can do the same level and so much safer. So I think that's probably why a lot of them have gotten away from it. But now we have all these, newer detailers thinking that Rotary is cool. And
well, I look at Rotary like a fountain pen. Everybody thinks fountain pen is cool to have and write with, but when you really go day to day, reach to write with something or do the work, your day to day utensil is a DA tool. And to give you guys an idea, Rotaries can take a lot of paint off very quickly. We did a test in a class this weekend, and we used a sandpaper on a 1 millimeter throw orbital, and we used 1,500 and 2,500 grit sandpaper. We took less than 200ths of a mil of clear coat off. Mm-hmm. We used a DA with my favorite product, Rehab, and then the microfiber, Oreo microfiber. We were taking half a mil of paint off. And so then you start adding in a rotary. Rotaries will take more than that. So it's really more than you want to do. And I don't mean more than you want to do as in, and once you do it, you're kind of committed to a two-step process.
Yeah.
So again, the most expensive thing in your shop is labor, whether that's you or your staff. So now you've added a guaranteed two-step to the process. That's more time, more effort, and more risk. And the big thing is less paint. And if you're maintaining that vehicle, if it's coming back to you regularly, I mean, you have to think about, well, am I going to do this again? Is this a one-time deal? So I think Rotary is probably still best suited to the marine industry right now because of the gel coats, because of that type of surface you're working on. You really need it. I just don't know that you need to go that way with an automobile.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless it's just freshly repainted and you've got 4 mils of clear coat to screw around with. It's probably a risk, and again, risk averse and time averse for me. I just wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't teach it as a thing you should do.
Totally.
And I think between Josh and I, we've probably got 10,000 hours each on a rotary, and I would be happy to give back 9,000 of those.
Yep. Good morning, Fred. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Arts and crafts time. So Fred, fun fact about me, I love to do arts and crafts, and I also love to break the rules. So the two go together great. So I like to come up with crazy ideas. And then, the fun thing is there will be arts and crafts at TRCMA. I obviously spent last week doing arts and crafts. And so I've done those the last couple of years, on the mid show of TRCMA. But my other favorite thing is to channel my inner detailer and do things with products you're not supposed to. So there may be a really great arts and crafts thing that will come to fruition at TRCMA, like just as a teaser. I'm pretty excited about it. So yes, I love arts and crafts.
So do you have a guest host for arts and crafts this year, Sid, or is it just you right now?
No, I'm going to be with Joey and Alex. Yeah.
Oh yes. A dynamic duo.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Got a whole plan. All right. Ed Hirsch. Good morning. Can the towels used with Reflect be washed and reused? Yes, absolutely. Yep. And I just use my FTWs with Reflect.
Yeah. I mean, those towels you treat like you would a Bead Maker towel or a Defender towel. That they're basically, going to go through the same care process, probably occasional stripping, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So Gabriel says, extractor shampoo for winter dirt on carpet or still the trio? Josh?
Still the trio.
Yep. Still the trio, Gabriel. I do love the extractor shampoo, but I do not clean with an extractor. So I only use my extractor for dry extraction. I don't do the whole deal. But I will say extractor shampoo is very good. I do use it in my house. And the other thing I use it for that I really love it is I use it on my extractor on my Swiss tracks. It cleans Swiss tracks great. So fun tip.
So do you put that in a spray bottle then, Sid?
No, I put it in my extractor. So because I have the machine, right? So I put it in the solution kit and then I just run my machine over my Swiss tracks and it cleans it up great. And it smells so amazing. My shop smells like that shampoo for a couple days and it smells so good. So yeah, I do love
our extractor shampoo is probably a secret weapon in the process.
Yeah, it's really, really good, Gabriel, but I still go back to that the carpet trio for cleaning carpet is still the best. I do use it in the carpet machine on my house for quick cleanups and stuff. But yeah, I really love it on hard surfaces. I love it on the Swiss tracks. It does a great job.
Yeah. I have seen people use it 128 to 1 in a spray bottle as kind of a carpet cleaning treatment. So it's kind of interesting. It's a product that we don't talk a lot about.
It smells so good.
It does.
It smells so good. Gosh. Yeah, Tony Mazel. How does Keith even get up this early?
Keith is a machine.
So I have to say, the last time I saw Tony was at, what was it? Basically 2 a.m. Pacific time, which
I was going to say, it was just like yesterday.
It was yesterday at 2 a.m. Pacific time, which was 5 a.m. because we were both headed to the airport.
That's funny.
And Tony, one word for you, clear. You got to get your clear.
Yeah.
So I got to Pittsburgh, and I got to tell you, there was a line out the doors to get into just the TSA pre-check line.
Oh my gosh. You know what causes that, why he won't get it, is because we've probably flown together 4 times and he didn't have pre-check or clear, and he beat me through the line. But it was just the airports we were at. And so he was always like, you know, now that he's traveling more, he's going to find out he needs it. But
yeah. Well, the thing is it's when you get to the airport with an hour before your flight, and you don't want to wait in a stupid long line like there was. You just go up to the clear line. So
that's so funny. Yeah. Totally. Ryan Griggs. Good morning, all.
Good morning, Ryan.
Amber, this is a great question. So does one cockpit versus express go after certain stains or dirt better than the other? So my opinion is that cockpit, I feel like, is stronger. I feel like it does go after the heavier dirt. I would say it doesn't foam quite as much as express. So if you're one that likes to see the foam, not that means it's cleaning less. I actually think it cleans more. It's kind of like how undressed on tires actually cleans more than brake buster, but doesn't foam at all. So cockpit doesn't foam quite as much, but I think it goes after deeper dirt because, like we said, we did build it for those off-road vehicles that were going to have mud, ground in. So I do think it is a little bit stronger. But I mean, Express is so good in its own right that I don't think, like I said, I just differentiate the two because of full strength and 1-to-1, which you can do either way. But they're both great. Yeah, both great. Tyler Cucci, if you need to have 2 bottles at a different dilution, you can wrap the top of the bottle with a different color electrical tape, blue, red. So Tyler, I have like OCD. That would literally throw me into a whole other realm. It would literally throw me into a whole realm.
Yeah, it would.
But it's a great idea.
Good tip.
It's a great idea. I got my own issues. Hydra Detailing. Just bought a gallon of paint gloss. Never tried. Bug Off. Never tried. And Swift. My favorite product of the month. Which purposes are there for Bug Off and paint gloss? Info about the static removal of paint gloss. Josh.
Paint gloss you can use for like pretty much everything.
Everything.
That's like the one thing I have in each one of my vehicles is a bottle of paint gloss.
Same
here.
Same. Yep. It's like my emergency, whatever you need. A bird poops, somebody, spills something in your car. Whatever, something you run through road paint, you need to wipe it off literally I use it for everything. Obviously use it for vacuuming for the anti-static purpose. I use it. I use it all the time. I use it to wipe down wheels after I've applied tire dressing. I use it as like my final wipe. I use it as a door jamb cleaner if they're not that bad.
It's a great clay lube.
Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic clay lube. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife. Mm-hmm. I think that it's one of those products where the name unfortunately limits what all we do with it because we do a lot. We do a lot with it.
Yeah.
Totally a lot. Yeah.
We've dusted down interiors with it. We use it. Bob and I for years when we go do shows and we do paint correction, we'd pre-spray and use it almost as a waterless wash because there is a little bit of cleaning agent in it. So it's unrivaled versatility. And then you go to the bug remover and it has unrivaled unanimity of purpose, which is
I just use it for bugs. I only use it for bugs. I've never used it for anything else.
There's nothing that is more polar opposite of paint gloss and Bug Off. So
yeah. But you're gonna love both of them, so I'm excited that you got it. And yes, absolutely, Swift is that is in my top 5 as well. I love me some Swift.
And keep your eyes out for probably a Bug Off promotion this spring. We typically do one in the spring because it is the season. So look for that.
Yes. Chad Emerson, good morning.
Morning, Chad. Another Iowa guy.
Nice.
Dude, you got your whole clan out today.
I know.
Yes. Christopher Jacob, what changes can we expect when PNS headquarters moves to Southern California in May? Keith.
Well, our goal is obviously to be better. I would say, oh, nothing's going to change. Things change, right? I mean, they do. But our goal with this, and that's why Bob and I were in Southern California last week to roll out the first kind of orders of PNS products from that facility. We actually want it to be better. So we are looking at new shipping methods, some differences in wrapping material. The goal for us is to have an improvement, not just make change for change's sake. I hate that. It's just like, okay, why are we spinning our wheels to get the same result? It's kind of the definition of insanity. So the goal is faster fill times, faster on-time deliveries, and really we had some good results. So, one of the things that we did is we shipped out of there on Thursday, and I've been receiving feedback from our distributors on how it went. And so far, the results have been positive. So the goal is that you really won't see a disruption in what we do.
Yeah.
And that the other thing is, and Sid has some video of it. I think she posted this week. The fill line is unbelievable. I mean, that thing is just—it's like it's like 100 and some odd feet of track, and you see a little bottle just move along. And it goes through, and they fill fast, and the labels are perfect.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a great quality outcome, and I think you guys are going to see that we're going to do a better job, which was the only reason to do it was to make it.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
And timing issues for about 3 months, but I really think you'll see a marked improvement.
Yeah. And I think that's what I was going to mention is that really from a consumer standpoint, you may not see too many changes. I think the distributors themselves will see the biggest changes just in quality and timing and, all of that will be much better for them. And like Keith mentioned, like the seals might be better, the caps might be on tighter, the labels might be a little bit straighter. Now, part of me, I'm kind of torn on that because I think I lovingly think of that as like PNS's stick. And now everything will be perfect. And of course we want everything to be perfect, but I am kind of like, I'm going to miss the crooked labels, but really from a consumer standpoint, that might be the only thing you notice. The formulas are still the formulas. They're, everything as far as the products are the same. It's just a little bit tighter, if that makes sense. So,
yeah. So, and for people who don't know, we've been doing our fulfillment for the website from SoCal since midsummer last year. So what you'll see though, is you may have noticed on the website, there are times when a product is not available with the bulk of product being all made in SoCal. And with all of that being in stock down there, you should see less and less of that being even a potential possibility. Because you just had an Archie Cam moment. But you'll see a lot more of that product be available more readily. You'll have less outages on the online website. So that will actually be a difference that you will see. But that product's been coming out of SoCal since June, July last year. We didn't make a big announcement about it. So for those of you guys who buy through our website, I think what you'll see is more availability than less. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And the president is here. Not the president of the U.S., but the president of the IDA.
Nice. Hi, Craig.
Well, Craig, gotta have him on the show. I mean, look, you want to talk about early for us. It's a little late for him, so appreciate it.
It's probably like 2 p.m. or so, yeah. Steve Daly. Now, yes, absolutely. We need off-road apparel, hoodies, long sleeve. So we did have off-road apparel when it first came out. We did one order of T-shirts, and those have pretty much all been decimated. I think what is there, like some 2Xs left. Now the off-road shirt is super cool. So I totally agree. We need to bring it back, which obviously in this goal of Keith and I's of doing, bringing back the off-road line, because of the industry, the off-road industry that's in, we will have to have merch. Like that's kind of required. So we'll have Josh help us on that.
Oh yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah, I think we need a zip hoodie. And it needs to have a lot of stuff down the sleeves and just kind of be more road racing kind of oriented. So, we intend to step the game up on that this year. By the way, there were 2 mediums and 2 smalls But the caution here is the mediums are kind of smalls, and
that's like a small, and then the small is like an extra small. Yeah. So if you have a 10-year-old that's super into off-road, go grab yourself one.
Right.
I'll never forget that TRCMA. We all looked
be
like
wearing our
biscuits.
off-road t-shirts today, but we only each have one as well. So
I know I have one, but I'm gonna have to find like some way to stretch it.
Yeah, mine's a belly shirt.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Josh? We got those for the TRCMA presentation, and I mean, we all went out there looking like cans of biscuits. It was so bad.
I was so happy I was in the studio wearing the black.
Oh my gosh!
That was
they were so tight. All right, rags and brushes. Hi guys, I have a question. A few days ago, I polished a car. I used Rehab and your finish. For sealing, I used Bead Maker and the mirror was mirror-like. However, and then we can't see the rest.
Here we go. I'm jumping ahead. I'll come back to you, Derek.
During the first wash, when I dried it with the TRC 1500, the car looked like it had been attacked by cats due to the scratches that were made. What could have happened? I have no idea. That's crazy. So the 1500 shouldn't have been able to scratch it. My question would be my question would be is what did you wash it with? Because it really, what did you wash it with? And then what was the quality of the towel? Like, because really only something in that wash process could have scratched it. Well, also if we go back to
Rehab,
but if we go back to his original comment where he said he polished it and then just used Bead Maker, if you're polishing a car, you want to use something with higher level of protection than Bead Maker to protect the polished finish, for sure. Bead Maker is great, but it's not going to prevent like car wash scratches and stuff. You really should finish it off with something like a coating or Defender, just to make sure that you have a little bit of a layer of sacrificial layer there. Yeah. But I would almost question either what your wash media, like maybe your wash mitt or something could have had something in it, but something was in it. It doesn't have anything to do with the Bead Maker or the polishing. Something happened during the wash process to scratch it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Whether that was the wash media you used, like your mitt or your sponge, or if you used a towel. Did you have a grit guard in your bucket? I assume you did. I mean, you're professional.
Yeah, because attacked by cats, that's pretty major.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
That's pretty major.
The other thing is, though, and I will say this, when you take the dirt off a car, you reveal a lot. There may have been damage there you did not see when it was dirty. And when you went to wash it, a lot of stuff manifests itself out. All right, we're going back to Derek because we skipped over him to finish the question.
Okay. Any recommendations for Alcantara protection, like a ceramic protection to top off the PNS carpet system? So obviously, like I love fabric protection. I think it works great. PNS still doesn't have one. We had the Inspiration one for a while that was great, but we don't have one. So I would say find, another ceramic protection. I know there's several brands out there that do a great job. It's just what brands can you get one from, really? Yeah. I mean, read reviews on Amazon. I know somebody had mentioned last week to me that the Guion ones were good. I've never used them. Somebody recommended that. But we're still working on it. Like we're always working on a solution. It just is going to take some time because there's regulations. We want to make sure that it's able to ship everywhere and be, all of that. And so that is just really difficult to get there. But we're always working on it. Dave's always working on something. And I have test samples and stuff, and we're just having a hard time because we do make sure that we follow all the rules as far as shipping and stuff. And so that, it makes it a little harder on us because we do follow the rules. So.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say somebody else isn't, but there are
right. No, it's just, we just
out there in the market that maybe aren't going to hit the top 65 compliance to California.
Right. Yeah.
And we would just want to make a product that doesn't hit compliance.
Right.
But on that note, I still have a pint of that product in my shop. So we can start the bidding at $1,500 and we'll go.
I have a gallon.
I have 2 gallons.
Oh, geez.
The war is on.
Yeah. All right. Andony. To remove stains, the dilution depends on the level of dirt, or is the dilution always the same? I'm assuming we're talking about the Carpet Bomber, and I tend to be one of those ones that I do what you're not supposed to, and I use the Carpet Bomber at a lower dilution, which would be higher chemical, right? And so I run my Carpet Bomber like 4-to-1, 5-to-1. I know you're not really supposed to, but I do, and that works for me. But you would want to lower your dilution amount to make it stronger. But Carpet Bomber is one of those that there is several different dilutions depending on how bad your stains are.
Yeah, we typically recommend you use a product diluted at the recommended rate for a couple of reasons. And like Carpet Bomber Straight is one of those products you can actually get away with. But a lot of products don't become what they really are until they are diluted at least moderately. Yeah. So, when you look at a product, over strengthening it maybe isn't your best bet, or using it ready to use instead of at least diluting a little bit. Sid is running hers twice as strong as it should be at 4-to-1. It's an 8-to-1 product. Yeah. But if you got a little deeper clean that you need to do, then you can run it stronger. The thing I would say is it just means you have more soap to get out on the back end. So you've got to neutralize and extract that the proper way.
Well, and I think to add clarity as to why I do that is because I rarely have to pull out the carpet system. When I do, that means the car's really dirty. That's why I run mine a little bit stronger. I don't have kind of the average everyday, I rarely clean out. I rarely have to pull out the carpet system just because of where my business is in, my clients. I don't take on a lot of new clients. So the cars have already been pretty well cleaned and are maintained at this point. So very rarely do I have a super dirty car come in. So that's just where my business is at, that if I have to pull out the carpet system, that means the car's pretty hammered.
Yep. So here's another good question about chemical differences. Here we go.
Amber.
So is EnviroClean better at cleaning traffic film than Mudbuster?
I think it's probably the same. The thing is EnviroClean is a dilutable product, right? And so again, that's going to depend on what dilution you have it at. I think that EnviroClean, I've never had EnviroClean fail me. So would I say that it's better? No. The thing I like about Mudbuster is, one, it's ready to use. I'm lazy. And two, it has that rust inhibitor in it. So, but
you can clean a little better too.
Yeah. So, I tend to grab Mudbuster more because I have it. Now, that said, it's probably much more expensive to do that. It's more costly. So if you're running like a production shop or something, I would stick with EnviroClean because there's nothing wrong with it. EnviroClean is a powerhouse of a product. So I've never had EnviroClean fail me.
Yeah, I would say EnviroClean has its composition is built to attack hydrocarbons more, which is what you're talking about when you talk about, especially, and this is my favorite time, end of the summer road film, because the roads have been dry all summer. And when it first rains, all that road film sticks to the car. I think you're going to find EnviroClean's your better cleaner. Yeah. I think on day-to-day, like right now in the middle of the winter, I don't think you're going to go wrong with either one. But I would say EnviroClean is designed a little bit more for the hydrocarbons, just because it does have a degreasing property that's more built toward. So, but not wrong either way. All right, Fred, here we go.
Fred, at Rags and Brushes, inspect the towel and make sure there's no contaminants or stuff on the fibers for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. That would be my first thought as well. Hydro detailing. Since I love the absolute smell, when most interiors don't smell nice, it's my number one interior cleaner for small dirt. Afterwards, Swift. If it's very dirty, Express non-diluted. There you go. That's awesome.
Yep. And you've used Absolute all over the place in the car, right, Sid?
Oh, yeah. 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 And we won't even get into adding different scents to your products. Get in trouble for mentioning that.
So my old distributor, Mike Kleinmeyer, used to put the Bead Maker scent in Express.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I showed up and I go, why is all your Express pink? And I'm like, do we have a defective batch? He's, oh, no. I buy a pint of this and I stick it in the 5-gallon bucket every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was only on the 5s, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And I use the Absolute concentrate in the same manner.
So it looks like they were using a fresh towel, which is good. But you look, a fresh towel doesn't mean that it's clean.
Yeah. And honestly, those 1500s, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of them. I do feel like because they're so heavy and those fibers are so, I felt like they're tighter together. I'm just not a fan of the 1500, honestly. That makes me nervous. I feel like that could hold on to a lot. And also, the rag company always recommends, I don't, but the rag company recommends that you wash your towels prior to use.
Yep.
There's a couple reasons I'm not a fan of that towel, and one is the dye that is used in it. I just wouldn't be surprised if that towel wasn't contaminated from the factory.
What color is that towel?
It's red.
So, and this comes straight from the rag company itself. Red and black towels, for whatever reason, because of the dye set, they say don't act as absorbently as other colors of towels.
Yeah.
It's just the fabric or the fibers get coated with the dye and they don't absorb as well. I like 1200 GSM towel. Dry. So that's where I am.
And obviously we all know I'm a huge fan of the rag company and all the towels they make, but if there was one that I don't use, it's that one. I think that, the Liquidator and those are plenty to dry one car, that I just would try a different towel or try it again after you wash it. But that is probably one that I would wash straight from the factory. Because the dye in that is pretty, there's quite a bit. Yeah. Okay, Amber says, how do Stout, Defender, and Bead Maker work together? Are they designed to work together? I'm going to say no on this. You don't want to use them all at the same time. So Stout literally stands on its own.
Yep.
So when you first put Stout on, so we're talking installation day, I personally wouldn't top it with anything. You can top it with Defender. You can. I don't, because I don't think it needs it, unless what we're coming out of winter. So now it's even going to be less of a need. But if the vehicle's going out into the elements and it's going to be, rain, hail, wind, leaves, I would top it with Defender. But Stout on its own, the surface that you're left with and how fast its surface cures, I love Stout the way it is. Now, 6 months later, you wash your car, you want to add a little bit of pop of gloss and some extra protection, throw Defender on there all day long. Defender's always going to work on it. If you want to use Bead Maker as a drying aid, do it. I just don't put anything on day of install. Then you can use whatever you want. The only time I'm going to use Bead Maker and Defender together is on that 1-year maintenance appointment where I'm playing with Bead Maker and then I put Defender on top. Those are the only two times. That's the only time I use those two products together. Otherwise, on my personal vehicles, I'm Bead Maker as a drying aid, Defender once every 6 months to top up the hydrophobic properties.
Now, do they work together?
Yeah, they all work together. Don't use them all at the same time, though.
Right. And I would say this, it's kind of like mixing brands. Dave is our chemist, right? And Dave makes everything. So Dave has a philosophy. So even if they weren't designed to be worked together, they're built by a guy who kind of works in a certain direction. And so they would be, the best phrase I can use is they would be complementary to each other, as far as they won't fight each other when you use them at the appropriate time. Sometimes you get that with other brands, right? They're coating, you put their coating down, and then if you spray something else on it later, it doesn't seem to function the way it should. Right. So our products will all be complementary over time. But as Sid said, I mean, Stout is Stout.
Just love the Stout, man. Yeah. Because whatever's on top is what your behavior is, right? And so that's the only thing, is I don't want you to lessen your behavior of Stout. It's rock star. That's awesome.
Well, the other thing is, when Stout's been on for an hour and a half, I don't know how much Defender really sticks to the car after you apply it. So not that I'm not into you guys buying a lot of chemical, do that. But I just think you're kind of putting effort after a nonsensical thing. So
all right, Kron says, what is the difference between dressed tire finish and Shine-All performance dressing?
A lot.
So a lot. Yeah. So Shine-All is a water-based silicone tire dressing. Dressed is and I always forget the word, glycerin, right? Glycerin-based tire dressing. So totally different. They cannot be used back to back. So you would have to strip the tire either way you're going for optimal performance. You would need to use undressed to switch tire dressings, but dressed is just a silicone alternative. So it came out in like the Great Silicone Depression of like 2021, right? There was no silicone to be found, and then the prices were outrageous. And so Dressed is a product that we had for some time, and it made a major comeback, and it's an amazing tire dressing, but it is one that you have to know that to love it, you do have to prep your tire correctly. Yeah. But they could not be more different. Yeah.
And it actually is my favorite dressing. I mean, and I've been a wipe and shine guy forever, but it is my favorite dressing. And it was kind of an upgrade to an older product that we had called High Gloss. And it's a body shop safe product. So that's really what Dress was built for, was the body shop safe environment.
Yeah.
So Josh, you have a body shop. Do you dress tires out of the body shop or not?
Nope, we do not. That all comes down to the detail shop.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Okay. I forgot to mention that I do have a hard out at 8:45. So we have 15 minutes.
All right. Lightning round is now begun.
Yes. So Fred asked rags and brushes. Did you wash it before using it? Yes. Always wash the 1500 for sure. For sure. Christopher Jacob, will Stout adhere to an older legend coating without totally stripping it? And if so, what's the prep process? So we always, without a doubt, recommend polishing any vehicle or coating before you apply a new coating. So I would never put Stout over Legend without prepping it. And if you prep it correctly, you're mostly going to remove enough of the Legend that the Stout's going to adhere, no problem. So I think when people are talking about changing coatings, they always think, well, how do I know if it's gone? It doesn't need to be gone. You just need to prep the surface with, the normal polishing steps. So never is my answer different than polish a car before putting on a coating.
Yep. And Josh, would you say with rehab, if you polish the whole car with rehab, typically you're going to remove most of the Legend anyway?
Yeah. You'll remove enough.
Especially if it's 3-year-old, 4-year-old Legend.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So the answer was no, he did not wash the towel.
Darn it. All right, Alex and Keith, we trust.
Absolutely.
I saw when he said that, but now I can't remember what he was talking about.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, I appreciate the compliment. Thank you.
Fred, SBG, have you tried mixing the different scents together to find a new one? No, I haven't. That's such a great idea.
I think we should do that live on camera at TRC.
Yeah, I'd have to think about which ones you'd mix, though. You could mix the coconut with like the mango or the strawberry lemon. I don't think you could mix the eucalyptus. Leather and glacier I would not mix with anything else. But
maybe the coconut with the creamsicle concept if we ever get that fragrance done.
Yeah, or I would maybe try the coconut with the mango. Maybe I'll try that.
Yeah, that would be good. That would we could call that tropical delight or something.
Right. Yeah. Fun. Okay. Gabriel, is there still room in the container for some Triple S and natural finish bottles and some pad washer labels? So there's still no natural finish bottles and no pad washer labels. Triple S, Keith, did that make it in the container? Did it? So, moral of the story is stuff we had made it. Fred says back to rags and brushes, not saying there's an issue, but it's worth washing it. Also, what did you use to wash the car? Check all of your wash media. Yeah. Those little wash pads, they're fun to use, but if they get contaminated, it's near impossible to get that out. So if you used it on a car with like leaves or sand, it's hard to get that out. Angela, good morning. Angela was on the road several days last week too. She was all over the place.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Hans closing. Hello, wonderful people. Hans, I have a question. Was that you in the raccoon suit? Because you have made Josh feel like he needs to step up his game.
Yep.
And that's almost impossible to do. I mean, really, he may have achieved something nobody else in this industry can do.
That was absolutely incredible, but I feel like it was Hans, but I'm not sure. So let me know.
By the way, Hans, I was on a flight on United to LA, and they gave us stroopwafel.
Yes, I had that option too.
I didn't know they had that option. I may have to fly United more now just for that.
Yeah.
First thing I thought of was Hans. I'm like, Hans should be here.
Alex, I wouldn't want to see Sydney without mocha mousse and a mismatched dilution bottles. The Treasure Valley would be in turmoil. That's for sure.
Well, you may get your wish.
Yeah. You should see me. If I have an unlabeled bottle, it gets hidden in a cabinet. I don't do it. Todd Hill, will Reflect keep eyeglasses cleaner, longer, and or from fogging? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I put it on my glasses all the time.
Put it on everything.
Yeah.
I love Reflect.
And it actually overcomes a little bit of micro scratching on the glasses, by the way.
Yeah. Josh, do you use Reflect? Do you like it?
Yeah, we use it on pretty much everything.
Yeah, I just love it. I've gone through so much of that, it's not even funny. I love it.
Okay,
we need gallons. All right, Fred, when detailing a show car or a classic, do you prefer wax or a coating? So I still do coatings, and the reason is because I'm protecting them against their owner.
Okay, on that note.
Okay. Rags and brushes. Back to Fred. I used a neutral pH shampoo, and I was very careful due to the black paint. I think it's probably your wash media or the towel. I don't think it was the shampoo. It's usually going to be the media or the towel.
I'm going to go one step further. It could just be your paint.
Yeah. It could be really soft and
paint. It could mar with breathing on it if it was.
And that's why I say anytime I do a paint correction, that's why I don't do paint correction without a coating. I mean, I know I say that all the time, but this is why. Because especially on black paint, if you get it perfect and then you wash it, I don't know that you're ever going to not mar it up when you wash it without a coating or, I don't even think Defender is necessarily going to defend against scratches because it's not hard enough. So I would, polish it again and put a coating on it. Even if you put Sol on, that's better than nothing. Cole says, again, does PNS have a ceramic protection for fabric? We kind of already touched on that. We don't. Still working on it. Stay tuned. It's not coming out at TRCMA, though. I'll tell you that much. Gabriel, replying to Cole Stinson, Inspiration Fabric, coating protectant. Yes, Gabriel, but nobody can get it. But I have a gallon, Josh has 2, and Keith has a pint. So
we'll make you a deal.
Yeah.
It's $1,500 a gallon is what it's going for right now.
Yeah.
So that's the market price.
We should
and I will say on some of the soft BMW paints and the GM blacks, we know they just mar like hell. So, you may not have done anything wrong. So
I don't know what Angela means by this. Can you get dry fits?
What's the shirts?
Oh, dry fit shirts. Yeah. For the off-road shirts.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually kind of a jersey type material like that might be cool, like an off-road jersey type thing, like a motorcycle jersey.
Yeah.
I know. Sydney's like, I don't look good in that. We're not doing it.
Well, I just think of those Monterey shirts. And I just can't do it.
I wore my Quail Polo to Hayward on Sunday.
The white one?
No, the blue one.
White one's in the Oh boy. Mike says it was great seeing the stout application at Autoality on Saturday. I would have never thought to apply so much pressure when wiping and leveling. Yes, I'm like, wipe it off like you mean it, right? That's my big thing. Yeah. Wipe it like you mean it.
All right, I did it right. Woo!
But here's the thing about that is I think some people are like, well, I don't want to have to wipe that hard. But it's easy wiping hard, right? We're not talking sticky. We're not talking, you're just using firm pressure, but it's super slick and super easy. But you have to wipe it like you mean it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Cole Stinson replying. He replied to himself. Thanks. I love it. Frank says, Keith, thank you for all the information on Saturday.
I spent no time in the booth. I just walked around and talked to people. So it's
nice. I did see pictures of other people manning our booth. That's great, Keith. Awesome. Pristine Auto Detailing.
Nobody puts baby in a cage. That's
I know, right? I constantly use Dynamic on Trek frames. Haven't found anything better. It's amazing for engine bays and frames. Does it help remove surface rust or reduce surface rust or any other corrosion resistance with regular use? Not that we would claim that, but I absolutely just personally feel like it does because it's keeping all those surfaces moisturized. I feel like it defends against, future dirt and all that better. Does it help rust? Probably not. Does it help the surface be moisturized and clean easier? Yes. But I love it too. I use either Dynamic or Full Send. But yeah, absolutely amazing. That's totally what I use.
Yeah. I mean, any barrier you put on a surface to prevent stuff from getting on it's going to help. But is it waterproof and all that? I don't know. Wouldn't know.
Sarah replying to Cole, Smart Fabric by G Technic works on carpets and other fabric. Even have some on my Hey Dudes. Yes, I've heard of Smart Fabric as well. I've heard that's a good one.
Yep.
Cole, I personally like Gion's Q2M silk dryer. I'm assuming that's the spray fabric, and I did hear that Gion's is really good. Travis, is there a dilution ratio where Mud Buster can be used on paint? I use it full strength. I've never diluted it. Yeah, it's ready to go. Yeah. I use it on paint all the time.
Yeah.
RTU, ready to use. There we go.
Send it. All right. Christopher Jacob, when you suggest a drying aid, what exactly does it accomplish? It helps the towel move across the surface a little bit easier. It gives it a little bit of lubrication. So when you're normally drying, you're just using the water that you've rinsed the car with. And so it adds just a little bit of protection, but it also helps the towel glide over the surface easier. It helps the towel, helps it absorb faster. Definitely not necessary, but some people like to use them. So it's really just a personal preference. You don't have to use one.
And probably lessen your chance of micro scratching with the towel.
Yeah.
Which we've been talking about all day. So there you go.
Yeah. So I use a drying aid if I wash a car traditionally with foam and a pressure washer. If I'm using Absolute, I don't usually use a drying aid because Absolute kind of has it in it. So Ryan Griggs, strawberry lemon with mango is like the PNS margarita. I love it. I'm going to try it. Oh, yes, Hans. It was me in the Trash Panda suit. I love it. That was amazing.
That was the best. That was the best entertainment all week.
I love it. Joey Belinsky checking in late, my friend.
Hey, at least he got up in time for the show.
At least he did get up. Gabriel, I have fabric coat and I'm in the EU. And no, I won't send it back to the US.
I would not recommend sending it back. I would suggest you do an online auction like we're doing.
Yep.
Hans, Patrick Barkle was laughing his ass off. I want to know where you got it. First of all, because Josh needs to wear that at SEMA. So please send Josh the link to because it literally looked exactly like Fat Joe. Where did you get it?
It did. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, send us the link, Hans. It was too funny. As Cole says, oops, I think that was telling himself thanks. Rags and brushes. Sydney, what's on your mug? Regular latte mocha. It is a coconut white mocha with caramel drizzle, whipped cream, the whole thing, all the way.
So if you look at the mug, there's this much coffee in it.
Yeah.
The rest is other ingredients that make her sweet and lovely.
Yes. Yep. Lots. All right, Joey. Everybody's saying good morning to Joey Belinsky. Thanks, JV, for checking in. Do you spray on Mud Buster? I just spray it.
Yeah.
I don't foam a lot. I'm not going to lie. I don't foam a lot. I just spray it. I love when things are RTU and just pick it up and spray it.
Yep.
Big fan. I think Keith has always been self-identified as the laziest detailer, but I think I might be moving into that position.
The IDA has its patches.
Yeah.
You're going to get a certified bougie detailer patch.
Yeah, literally. Ryan says Bead Maker as a drying aid is top notch. 100%. That's totally what I use. Yep. Love it. Yep. JB, more shouts out to JB. Austin Burks. Man, we got everybody here today. Keith DuPlessis, please check your DM. I've been trying to reach you about my order and haven't gotten a response. Uh-oh. DM. Where'd you DM him? If it's on Instagram.
I'm pretty bad at it. So
probably use his email. Yeah.
I use email. So I will check. Sorry, Austin.
Joey, Mondays are my Sundays. I sleep in. Too funny. All right, Fred, JB, and Dewar in the house, getting ready for TRCMA. Yep, we all are. That's why I got to get out of here in 3 minutes. I got a TRCMA meeting. Joey, yes, the TRCA halftime show. Let's go. Hans, oh man, I got it here from a store that sells party suits. So we got to look up party suits.
I can find one.
Okay. Fred, PNS needs a new product called Trash Panda in honor of Fat Joe. Absolutely, we do. Yeah, what we need is a new fragrance called Trash Panda. Uh-oh. Yeah, we've got the Fat Joe hot sauce. Bailey's. Edison Gomez says, if I had a certification in the installation of Inspiration ceramic coating, do I have to obtain a certification to install SOUT, or can I obtain it without taking another training? Keith's going to be the final answer on this, but I would highly recommend doing the new one because it's so different. And, they're two totally different coatings. So if you want one that says you're certified in that, coating, it's just like we had separate ones for, classic and stout. So I will say that when you do stout, you're certified in all of them, but I still highly recommend taking a class so that you totally understand the installation of it. And if, obviously anybody can buy it and install it and watch the video, but if you want the certification that says you're certified in it, you do have to take a training.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to the warranty, I am not going to make you get on a plane or whatever, go get certified to be able to install it and use the warranty.
Yeah. But if you want the certificate, you're going to have to take a class. Yeah. And I recommend taking a class, but otherwise you can absolutely buy it and do it. I just highly watch all the videos. All the videos. Rags and brushes. Question. After I steam clean service for leather with the Macola and Express Interior, do you recommend protecting the leather after? This is a mixed answer. I've heard that a lot of people don't. I do here in Idaho because it's kind of like the desert. The leather tends to dry out a lot. So I put protection on every single car that gets steam cleaned. So, but that's just my area. I know in California, I've heard of a lot of detailers that don't need to use protection after. I've never had a car that has come in that hasn't needed it. So I do it, but that's really a personal preference. You don't have to do it. Fat Joe Fragrance is empty pizza box. That is hilarious.
And on that note, we have hit our comments for the day. So where is everybody coming up? Josh, what do you got going on in the future? Well, you got training on the week of the 20th of March, right?
Yep, training class here. Then we're going to be in Hayward first week of April, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be putting out more information on this, but we have a couple spots left in our March training, which is the 17th, 18th.
Yep.
And then Josh has some openings. And then for the April training, Josh will be there doing both days. So the all-in, the ceramic coating certification. And then we have a Spanish speaking class the next 2 days. So it's 4 days of training, same classes, just in Spanish the next 2 days. So definitely look that up on our website. That will be the first for PNS. So we're pretty excited about that. And we have an absolutely amazing instructor. It's going to be really great. So we're excited.
Yeah, Miguel's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing him dive in. He's been to, I think, 2 or 3 of our trainings. So, and he interned with me here, I think it was December. So I'm really excited to see him get going and have us offer that as a thing. So,
Yep.
And Sid, we're at the Mint 400 this week.
400, yeah. Let's hope we survive. We're pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be super entertaining and looking forward to it. So definitely pay attention to our social medias because we'll probably be sharing a lot and it'll be fun.
And then I'm at the mothership the week of the 17th for our trainings that week. And then I will be in Florida that following weekend. So for a special project that has to do with babes. So awesome stuff.
Awesome. Very good stuff. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. This was great. We will see you back in 2 weeks. And then the 2 weeks after that, I think we're right up against TRCMA. So how fun. We're getting closer to the new products.
There we go.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right.